I hope this is my last personal film.
Good meeting you.
Likewise.
Yeah, sorry I'm so late to the party because if I had been more on top of things, I would have done this sooner with you because as we're speaking, right? You had a theatrical read at the Firehouse Cinema at New York City, which is I didn't see you there the first.
The second.
Oh, son of a gun.
We were close. The first one was Abigail Disney's great film about Disney World.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I actually...
Yeah.
Well, it was Abigail Disney, her documentary, The American Dream and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had her on actually too.
Oh, great! Yeah,
yeah,
she's wonderful.
Totally. So, yeah. Well, again, thanks for coming on. We can mention, even though it's had a New York City theatrical, and LA, I assume.
Yes.
It was at the Lemley Monica Center. But it's good to mention these things because they all like tell people how, your film has gotten some great play, and it's now going to be, it's in San Francisco at the Roxy. Yeah. The Roxy.
Yep.
On November 4th, it's going to have a theatrical there.
Yep.
And then, who knows after that? I mean, could keep going.
Sure.
I also want to mention, if you don't mind me talking too much at the beginning, because it's all good stuff, that I didn't see you there. Won Sundance's best U.S. documentary.
It won the Director Award for U.S. documentary feature.
Oh, okay. Then I gotta go. I'm sorry. Let's cut this off. Let's stop.
All right. Sorry, I should have been more clear.
I misread it, but it did win. Full Frame is a very prestigious documentary festival, and it won the Grand Jury Award there.
It did, yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty good too, and it's been nominated for a Gotham Award for Best Documentary Feature.
Yes, that happened a couple days ago, and it's the luster is still pretty shiny on that one.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, this is your first. I know you made a bunch of short films, and they don't get even no matter how they go into festivals, but the short films always invariably get the short shrift because they just don't get the exposure and, of course, distribution that a feature film. So this is your first feature, and right off the bat, you're getting tremendous amount of word buzz and awards for it. It's amazing.
it's wild. It's wild. I feel very grateful to have a team that is so dedicated and brilliant. I'm thankful that we are in a space where a film like this has been able to be seen. I hope more films like this will be able to see. I think there is a lot of room for these types of films to be more visible rather than the kind of pop doc era we find ourselves in. And I'm also really thankful that we're coming off the heels of Clip Camp, which is an entirely different movie, but I think has prompted finally people to think about disability in documentary representation.
Yeah. So another it's this in your film. I mean, I don't mean, I hope this doesn't come off as like putting off people, because it's not meant that, or intended that way, but it's like, this is kind of, for most people, going to feel at first especially like an experimental film, but
yeah, maybe
it's not.
Well, I mean, in one sense it literally is, because I had influences for this film. There was Campbell Person, there was Hill County this morning, this evening, but there was never a film shot entirely for the wheelchair before. And so I was literally experimenting with how I could shoot it, with what looked good, what didn't look good. So I think in that sense, it is purely and literally experimental.
That's a good point. And also where you're obviously, where in the moments where you're holding the camera and it shakes, it's also, those moments also tell part of the story as much as any other part of the film. So you can't call it a mistake or a flaw, because it's kind of, it's part of, right?
It's intentional. It gets to this idea of disability aesthetics, where I am not going to try to overcome my disability. I'm going to use it in my art making practice.
Well, there was no other. I know that there's been many, countless documentaries about people with disabilities, but I don't think I've ever got to the moment where, for instance, there's where, let me finish my thought and then I'll go to the example. But where I felt like understanding the experience, and you're really kind of feeling empathic with your experience of traveling through the streets of Chicago. No, wait, where am I blanking? No, San Francisco. No, Oakland, of course, Oakland. I'm sorry, I had a senior moment there.
Yes.
But when there's a moment late in the film where, and I don't want to give away too much, but there's a moment late in the film where we kind of gone through the day with you, and of course as you said, we're watching through your eyes and through the camera, which is your perspective, your POV, and you get into your apartment and we just hear you screaming an epithet, like, because I felt like sort of scream. I felt it before you even shouted it. You know what I mean? Like I felt it. Anyway, it was a great moment, very cathartic moment.
Thank you. I think that. Yeah, I mean, I think you see that. I think maybe viewers sense irritation or frustration throughout the film and kind of wonder when I am going to blow my nose. And yeah, that was the moment.
That was the moment. Yeah.
Uh,
I have a question, which I was talking to my girlfriend. We watched I Didn't See You There, directed by Reid Davenport, together. And there's a moment early on where you tell somebody who's wants to help you, right, with the wheelchair, I think, or you were leaving. Remind me now. It's been like 2 weeks since I've seen it. And you told, you were getting out of the airplane. That's what it was. You were leaving an airplane, and this is always like probably the height of frustration, I'm guessing, for you.
yeah, airports are where self-esteem for disabled people go to die.
That's funny. Oh yeah, no, it just, and you said to, I think I understood by the end of the film, but I want you to talk about it, where you said to the employee, you said, "Please don't touch me." And at first I thought, wow, that's kind of like, I just wanted to know where you were coming from at that particular moment. It could be just a collection of experiences over an extended period of time that you've had.
Or do you like when people touch you?
Depending who they are.
Don't know.
People don't typically do that, though. They don't assume they can put their hands on me.
Yeah, people assume that I need help with a walking, and one reason I don't want people to touch me is because it actually throws off my balance. But the main reason I don't want people to touch me is I don't want people to touch me. It's a violation of my space. And it's uncomfortable and it's unpleasant.
Right. I mean, there's probably some people you wouldn't mind touching you, but the right person, but
consensually, sure.
Consensually, right. And of course, your nieces and nephews who you obviously have a great amount of affection for, and sort of, it also occurs to you as you watch the film that the kids have no issues and understand how to interact, but it's something we start intellectualizing very early on from the messages we get, correct?
I wouldn't call it intellectualizing.
We start to think, I just mean like, I'm now overthinking how to not offend you or to offend you or to, like it's.
I think it's simpler than that. We are absorbing the biases that have been perpetuated by society.
Mm-hmm. What kind of conversations have you been having with audiences? Because now I assume you've been to quite a few Q&As, and what do you feel like are you surprised by any of the reactions? Maybe that's a better question.
So there have been a lot of great questions. But I think the most interesting questions are when people try to ask me about my personal life beyond the film, and I do my best to shut it down, to say that I don't owe you anything. That this film is purposefully opaque. And if you see this film as an invitation to be a voyeur, to ask about things that are regularly included in documentaries about disability, well, you really miss the point.
Mm.
And then there are there are some really ableist stuff that comes out of audience members' mouths. For instance, I had one person try to reassure me that I wasn't a freak because of X, Y, and Z. And
It was kind.
yeah, I mean, it was just it's mind-boggling the amount of ableist projection that can be put on this film.
Mm. Well, yeah, and I feel like maybe people feel they have this invitation into your life because this is on a very essential level, a very personal film. So when people make a personal documentary, I think people just feel, some people anyway, feel invited to maybe to ask just about anything, no matter how appropriate or inappropriate.
Sure, but yes, and I also think that this film explicitly criticizes that display, that's kind of entitled attitude that I owe something
I
to
see.
your curiosity.
Sure. Right. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
But what do I know?
Well, I think also just including those scenes with your mother. Geez, well, she just comes. What a great person.
Right?
Oh my goodness. I just was,
Right?
just loved her so much.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She just is. She just wants to love her boy. And it's really wonderful to see those moments together with you and your mom. And she seems to unintentionally teach you about yourself or make you see things. There's an important moment also with her. Again, I don't want to give too much away, so just stop me if you feel like I shouldn't talk about it. But
it's your show.
you could be the editor though.
No,
well,
I'm good.
Anyway, the film's out, and no doubt it's going to be coming on a streaming platform. Probably, I'm guessing somewhere later in the year or by the early part.
It'll be broadcasted on POV.
POV. Nobody. I haven't heard. Well, it better be on POV.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the very essence of POV. This documentary.
It's a mascot for POV.
That's right. But you guys had this conversation about how you've been politicized, and it's a really interesting discussion or in point because being anybody that's kind of designated to be different or outside of which I maybe we've come a long way, and because people that are in the LGBTQ community are considered essential, just by being out or by marrying somebody, they've performed this political act. And likewise, you're making this film is become in your mom's eyes, I think, right, a political act. Yeah, and she's not entirely comfortable with it, it seems.
Sure, and I think there is an interesting parallel between the disability community and the LGBTQ community in that you can be a member of either,
right,
surrounded by family members who none of whom identify as either. So it's different than other identity groups in that way, and that you can become politicized, you can come out as disabled later in life.
Right. I think you're reading through the press materials alone. Like, I saw the film, but I watched it. Maybe I need to watch it second or third time, because the first time I'm watching it, I'm kind of having an emotional experience, which is exactly, I think, what any filmmaker wants people to have a response, like an emotional response, because it's a piece of it's art, it's storytelling. And then as I read through the press notes, there is stuff in here about how to kind of think about talking about the film or writing about it, which really was helpful. It was really like made me think of the film in a more dimensional way.
Right.
I'm so lucky because I get to see a film like I Didn't See You There, and then I can actually talk to the guy who made the film. It's kind of a neat thing, I can. I mean, it doesn't always work, but sometimes. And I'd rather talk to you about your film than most of the other films I've seen. Although I went to see The Whale. It's true, but I went to see The Whale last night. Now I want to talk to Darren Aronofsky, but that might be that's a different issue.
Right.
I don't know if it's been in the festival circuit along with your film. I don't know if you had a chance to see it yet, but
I haven't. No.
Go see it when you get a minute.
I will.
Or 160 or 20 minutes anyway. What about your sharing that? What about the other people with disabilities that have had the opportunity to see your film? I'm curious to know, has there been any surprises in terms of reactions there, or anything you can share?
I think it's interesting to see disabled people who are not wheelchair users who identify with the film so deeply. I have a friend who isn't a wheelchair user, but I believe identifies as disabled, saying how much the conversation with my mother meant to her.
Wow.
And so that was really good, and kind of, reminds me that really disability is not about individuals. It's a shared political experience, and it's just really I hope I can connect with more disabled people, and I hope maybe they can see themselves in me, in this film.
It's great. And your mom, I have to imagine she loved it.
She did. I mean, yeah.
She's
so,
obviously
I put my family in this film, and that is already a lot. So I kind of leave all the rest out of the public view.
Got you. Well, when the name of the film again, I said it enough times, but I'll say it one more time. I Didn't See You There, directed by Reid Davenport. And I should mention, and I meant to, I know you were exalting, I guess is a better word, your team, but produced by Keith Wilson, who is a well-known cinematographer in his own right, but he produced the film. And when was the POV? Do you have a rough idea? You don't have to give a date, but
January 9th.
You gave a date. All right, January 9th on POV. We'll go back and I'll put this out there again, our conversation, and help promote leading up to the broadcast. Is there going to be a different edit of it for that? Of course, I assume a little.
No, because it's already 76 minutes, so we don't have to cut it down at all.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Great. That's good. I worked there for a period of time.
Oh, great.
Yeah, a while ago, but it was a great place. Well, listen, thank you very kindly for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was my pleasure. It was great talking to you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. By the way, I'll stop the podcast / whatever there. Do you mind if I also use the video, or what are your thoughts? Because I usually have a YouTube channel as well, and I give you the option. I always give my guests the option if they care about my putting it also on YouTube.
Oh yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. Yeah. And I think you can. Yeah.
I'm not lit very well, but
I don't know. I think, yeah, I think you were great. And this was fantastic. I'm so glad to finally get a chance to meet you. I was really very moved by the film. And yeah, we were both, when I told my girlfriend that I was going to be talking to you, she was like, oh, great. She was very excited to hear that. So,
cool.
Yeah. And we'll just keep, maybe in the next project, we'll do this again. I would look, it'd be great.
Yeah, I would like that.
Me too. I have a feeling we know some people in common in the documentary world too. So,
where are you based?
I was in the city, New York City, for a really long, New York City on the other side, for a really long time, and then during the pandemic, I was going through a tough time and had family loss and all that stuff, and decided to leave the city and move a little north of the city. So I'm in the Hudson Valley.
Oh, cool.
And it was the best decision,
Yeah.
I can't attend it.
I actually did the same thing. I'm in Brooklyn now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Did you didn't move to the East Coast, or did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
a year ago.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
How do you find it? I mean, you can't go to the grocery store without like running over a couple of filmmakers now, probably.
I know, right? Yeah, but I like all of them. So
yeah. Where in Brooklyn are you?
Fort Greene.
Oh, that's a nice area. Yeah, I lived there for a while too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're near, so you're near BAM, and you're near.
Yep.
You're near my son goes to, well, he graduated, but he was working. He went to high school right nearby, like right across Atlantic Avenue.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And now he's actually working for a while in Brooklyn, not too far from where you live.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I miss some of it, but it's nice. It's real so pretty up here. I can't tell you, it's so nice.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, well, that's awesome. Now you become a Brooklynite.
Yeah, I think I got a few more years before I earned that, but yeah.
Do you find it that you can connect more with colleagues now, right? Or have more social time maybe with colleagues because they're so close by?
Yeah, I mean, San Francisco and Oakland has their own pretty deep documentary community.
That's right, an experimental film too.
Yeah. Yep.
It's there's a deep tradition of experimental filmmakers in San Francisco.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to make some dinner, but let's stay in touch. I would love to. Let's do it again. We can even do it again in January.
Great.
Yeah.